everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be taking a look at a highlight best-of-3 series of professional StarCraft 2. Joining me here for map number 1, we are on Frost Line. The upper right corner shall belong to a Protoss player. Blue probes, it is Classic. And their opponent here, the red command center landing into the bottom left, the SCVs of Cure. And not quite in the middle of the map, actually much closer to the Protoss' side, it is Cure's barracks. Proxy barracks, alright. Starting things off right. What a day. Buckle up, buttercups, indeed. We have a little bit of shenanigans afoot. Not too terribly committed, though, I will say. Just one barracks, that's like, I'm trying to scare you. I'm trying to inconvenience you. I'm not trying to actually cause any problems. Classic's gonna find it relatively quickly, I will say. The initial choice is going to be a Reaper, it would seem, from the barracks, which is going to be, I think, a solid choice for this initial opener. The Cyber Core, of course, not yet done, and Classic has no interest in making a Zealot to eventually just watch it die. So I think Cure has a little opportunity here to at least inconvenience. Actually get a probe, definitely get a probe for that. The SCV is going to make a bunker as well, so it's a slight commitment there. Classic hiding the second probe, going to try to take out the SCV. Oh god, it goes on the other side though. The Reaper comes back. The Reaper Marine combo gets the second probe. The SCV survives with a mere 5 hit points. Stalker comes in and brutalizes the SCV, ruining his day, but the SCV did their job. The bunker is here. Marines, Reaper inside, ready to, as I mentioned, inconvenience. Nothing too terrible, I think. I don't think they're going to get the Nexus, for example. Destroying the Nexus here would be an impressive feat. There's no SCV to repair. If the SCV was actually here to repair, there's the possibility. The battery's gonna complete. Stalker's here, ready to start trying to take down the bunker. I like the idea of splitting the Stalkers up here, so that way at least the Reaper can't just slip right past. Because you don't want the Reaper to get past you there. The bunker will be destroyed. Marines deciding to charge forward, picking off a Stalker and a probe. Over on the left side here, Stalker did chase that Reaper away. The Marines are now deciding to lay claim to the Protoss' main base. Unfortunately for them, though, probes, no strangers to battle. They will be targeted. A couple probes picked off, actually. In total, what, 4? 4 probes and a Stalker. And a heavy amount of inconveniencing on this Nexus. Look at all the shields it's going to have to regen now. Classic, feeling offended, feeling slighted, perhaps even a bit flustered from this situation, says, you know what? You want to proxy me? Fine. I'll proxy you. Skirmish in the middle of the map as Stalkers and Cyclones meet each other. Stalker apparently the losing end of that skirmish. But reinforcements from the left, which I think is actually probably going to tip Cure off, because Cure's got to be like, wait, where'd those Stalkers come from? Hole up here. Depot is raised. The command center's still mid-transform. The Cyclones now on the retreat, on the back foot, a bit injured. Actually, this one's very injured. 1 health, death's door, practically. Stalkers getting a little too close to the siege tank range, but definitely can pressure the command center a bit here. I think they'll at least get it burning, but I don't think they can actually destroy it. Getting too close to the tank is a death sentence. The Cyclones actually make it out. They're still fine. How many kills? Just 1 kill on them, so just that initial Stalker. Other than that, everybody's just trying to inconvenience each other at this point. We're just taking turns being rude, being annoying. The siege tank's going to start to leapfrog, I think, so that the Terran can actually take their own natural base, which you might be like, wow, that sounds awful. No, that's pretty par for the course for TVP. A go time, a trigger of classic. That was an unusual decision, I think, to say it's go time to get one siege tank trading away. Okay, just canceling it. Trading away, I mean, 6 stalkers and a sentry and an adept to clear out one siege tank. Yeah, it's going to help out the later push. I mean, Cure undoubtedly with this build, with this setup, Cure's trying to get a bunch of pieces together. Think of it like a puzzle. Cure's making a puzzle. He got the corners, okay, and he's working on the sides. We're going to say the siege tanks are the sides in this completely absurd and useless analogy. So you get all the side pieces together, and then you can actually move out into the middle of the map, which is also the middle of the puzzle. Keep up. And then maybe if you have all of the side pieces together, you won't look like a complete buffoon when you lose the game in the middle of the puzzle. Capiche? Got it, of course, yeah. But Classic here, Classic is like the elementary school bully who comes along and either steals your puzzle pieces so that you can't complete the puzzle, or kind of just hits the puzzle off the table and pieces go everywhere, and they're like, yeah. I'm sure that's what bullies do. I don't remember. It's been a while since I was at that time, at school age, but I will say maybe that's what still happens. They just come and kick your puzzle and wreck your sandcastle kind of business. So at the bottom line, Cure's trying to build siege tanks, okay, which obviously, yes, I know. Real roundabout way to get there, yes, perfect. Cure's trying to build siege tanks. Classic doesn't like siege tanks, and it would appear that Cure took the message, took the hint, because I don't think he's really replaced it. Hasn't continued making tanks, switched a bit over to Widow Mines. The Cyclones, it would appear Classic tried to rebuild the pylon over here, but Cure's gonna take out the gateway, removing this forward warp-in spot. 3rd CC planted now. Observer found, spotted. What's Classic been up to, though? The Classic, of course, with the time, the resources that they've been able to accrue while Cure has been building up this 2-base, an army, Classic has gone into a little bit of splash damage. Colossi are the choice. Thermal Lance, we might want to chrono that. It's a little close. Luckily for Classic, Cure doesn't seem quite ready, quite intent to move out onto the map just yet. Cure's being a little bit of a back and forth here. It's stim, shields, +1, they're all done. The triple threat's here. Triple threat's good to go. I think Cure is kind of just waiting for something. I mean, the scouting has gone out. Undoubtedly, Cure has seen the Colossi trying to build some measure of counter to that with the Vikings, but I think the time that Cure is giving Classic now is probably just going to wind up hurting Cure. Classic's able to get more of their Protoss puzzle pieces together. Cure denies what looks like a base over here. Cyclone's still being useful. Do we still have the other one? Maybe. Yeah, we do. Oh, and it even got repaired. Oh, want to be a Cyclone in Cure's army, lads. Actually get some repairs, get some health back. Still making Colossi? No, trading off the Colossi, stopping at 3, it would seem. Classic is going to start Blink and then move out on the map, which doesn't usually feel like the right order of operations for such a strategy. Usually you think you'd be getting Blink before deciding to throw away your Stalkers, but here we are. Let's see. Ghost Academy built very aggressively, far forward. Siege tanks set up for the defense. There's a decent amount of Marines, but there's also a decent amount of Colossi. You have to see which deals with which better. I think my money would probably be on the Thermal Lance Colossi. Classic picks up a few Zealots. It's going to circumvent around, maybe cause a few Zealot-shaped fires in the main base. Widow Mine will not be destroyed, will not be dealt with. The Vikings actually spot the Prism, which is going to be quite good for the Vikings. Cure's got to be feeling good after that. Shutting down the Prism, no shenanigans. Ghosts on the way, too. Starting up the Ghost production. Cure, I'm almost impressed, actually. Just kind of deciding not to attack. Not to go for the mid-game type of attack to where you like try to clear the Protoss's third or fourth base with the tanks. Cure just says, what if I don't? What if instead I just, you know, get my stuff together? Wait until I'm actually ready to fight. Cure ready to move out now. 9 Vikings, 5 Ghosts at the ready. I don't think Classic actually has Templar though, no. Disruptor's the second splash damage choice. The first one's going to be a great hit, taking out 2 Disruptors for relatively nothing, although then we blink forward and give him something in exchange. Not too great there. Not too great of a blink. It says Prism? Nope, just Zealots. Zealots doing what Zealots do best, being rude to SCVs in the mineral line. Their siege tanks set up on the low ground. Protoss army. Splitting, please. What's a split in this case? Are you kidding? Absolutely not. Disruptors, so some of them actually breaking off over to the left side here. Might be able to get the siege tanks kind of by themselves now. Disruptors. Brutal connections. The Terran army seems to just evaporate under the weight of those disruptor hits. The Vikings take out one of the Colossi. The Zealots deciding to hold position near the rocks. Not going to work out too great. Disruptors trying to give a high five. Will wind up... God, the physics, getting another solid connection. The Bio army seems to just get deleted. Only 1 Colossi fell. The Disruptor connections were the real linchpin with that. Just suddenly, 36 Marines are in the lost field. Classic feeling good, feeling confident to push across to the other side. Colossi, Disruptor, Wombo combo, who needs storms? The weather, look, it's clear, it's sunny. Terran's still not doing great with it. The SCV's now in peril. The command center, I think definitely, it can be taken out. Reinforcements, Stalkers, and Disruptors showing up. Does Cure have an answer? It's not looking too great. The Disruptor shots continue to be quite helpful. The bunker, all hope on the bunker. Repair. Repair, it's not going to be enough. The Stalkers focus fire. The bunker is destroyed. 20 SCVs have fallen. Cure surrounding Classic's army, but then Classic surrounding Cure's army even further. Map number 1 is going to go to the Protoss. Map number 2 in the series shall be Whispers of Gold here. The Red Terran having a bit of a tough time, but already deciding to change things up, building their barracks in their own base. How strange. Over on the right side here, it is Cure. And the opponent, the victor from map number 1 with some very terrifying disruptor connections, it is Classic. Didn't they nerf the Disruptor Balance Council? Weren't you supposed to prevent this type of slaughter? Nerfing the damage a little bit, it still, of course, completely annihilates things like Marines. However, I think the change was to make it so Marauders couldn't be one-shot, but that kind of is a null and moot point when we have 3 Disruptor shots connecting into the same cornfield patch of bio forces, I suppose. Either way, something's getting cut down, so not going to work out too well. The Reaper choice for Cure decides to stay at home for a brief second. We'll pick off that scouting probe. Cure says, get out. No vision, no scouting, no peeping probes allowed here. The Reaper feeling good, feeling confident, going to head across. Looks like a little bit of a change up for Classic as well. Stargate coming out here. I don't recall seeing any Stargate units in the first round, so both of them deciding to go with a little different flavor, different setup. Got a relatively quick starport. Is this a mine drop? This feels like a mine drop. Smells like a mine drop. Yeah, it kind of tastes like it too. I know you probably were thinking the same, beautiful viewer. So, we'll continue. The Reaper. Did you even go? You didn't even really go anywhere. Just saw the natural nexus. Oh, okay, my opponent's still here. Good. Gotta make sure your opponent's still here after all. Gonna hop into the main, seize the Stargate. That's helpful. Thank you, Classic, for building that Stargate within vision range of the employee entrance. So, Cure's gonna know. Cure kind of knows what's up, what's happening here, and decides to respond accordingly, getting a Cyclone. Now, does this mean he cut the Widow Mines? He did. Only one Widow Mine. Which, if you're gonna draw... Oh, trying to hide it behind... Did you guys know, you Terrans, if you hide it on the top, or what I might say the north side of the building, it is much harder to detect. We can see the silhouette, because as observers you can kind of see everything. Well, that works too. Just in the mineral field with the SCVs. That's fine. Where is the Oracle? No. Classic deciding to keep it at home, waiting for multiple Oracles. Moracles, yes. I know, fan favorite. Phoenix, the follow-up choice. Oracle's deciding not to really even head across. Intriguing. Deciding to kind of just not worry about it. I mean, Classic, I'm sure, knows, as the Protoss player, you're going to be ahead in workers. Like, is there a need to do damage? It depends, I suppose, what the goal is. Oh, stasis trap almost triggered. Here we go. Oh, gets the Cyclone and the Reaper. Not too shabby of a connection there. One Cyclone still remains. Decent amount of Marines in the Widow Mine leading the charge up to high 5 here. Oracle and Phoenix here to help out each other. A little bit of emotional support there. Oracles, they'll clear out some of the defenders. The Vikings land on deck. Decide to just kind of crawl their way forward. The probes, Protoss boys, are pulled for the defense. However, this composition is great at gunning down workers, I will say. Marine Vikings essentially on the ground. I mean, they're just like super-powered Marines with their Gatling gun attack. Just check back in over here. 7 SCVs picked off. The Oracles spend their remaining energy on the command center and then decide to just tap out of that fight. Cure's ragtag band of mercenary army here. Scrap hunters more than anything else, making their own scrap. The batteries, they're going to run out of energy pretty quickly. Here's some reinforcing stalkers. 18 probes have been killed off. This is devastating for the Protoss now. 23? It just keeps going. 25 probes killed off? Are you serious? God. Lost an Oracle too. Viking apparently came out. Oh god, the Phoenix is gonna get the medevac. Well, that's at least preventing any witnesses, right? No survivors. Nope. Okay then. Well, that happened. Suddenly the Terran is up 9 workers, which is never good for the Protoss, I will say. In this matchup, in this day and age, in this economy, look at the mules, you gents. Okay, the mules, they're gonna cause quite an influx of resources, quite an imbalance here. The Terran has a decent opportunity. Unless the siege tank forgets what gravity is. The Stalkers just kind of walk waltz in like they own the place, but the clutch repairs. Cure pulling the SCVs to repair the tank while it's in the air. Don't ask me how it works, Terran physics. I guess they're just throwing their repair drill up in the air. Did they stack on top of each other, make an SCV ladder, and then through their combined emotional support repair the siege tank? Let me know, how did that work? Did they throw hammers at it and make it feel better? Did they make an SCV ladder to repair it? Or was it just that they were down on the ground cheering and the siege tank just felt better from all of it? I think all three of these are fine possibilities. You let me know your favorite thought, or if you have a different idea, let me know. Viewer creativity. You guys astound me more than anything else most days, so let's keep it rolling. Nonetheless, the end result is the same. The siege tank survives. Classic is, I think, in quite a bit of hot water here. The army supply is starting to tip pretty well in favor of the Terran, who is still ahead on workers, impressively. The third Nexus is not yet completed. Now, Classic is going to know when Cure wants to move out. Dark Templar are here and made. Is this how you reveal it? My God. Cure says he is having none of that. Okay. The DT doesn't even get to do an attack. Doesn't even get to make a strike. The siege tanks completely erase it from the annals of history, I suppose. Well, Cure's, I think, gotta be feeling pretty good. The army supply, 15 to 53. I think we're just kind of waiting for Cure to pull some semblance of a trigger and then not die to DTs. I think that's kind of where we're sitting at. It's kind of our stance right now. And Classic, on the other side, is deciding to add on a little bit of splash damage. Now, it does not have a robo. It doesn't look like. No bow. Nobotics facility. Got it. So the only real splash damage then is going to come down to either Storm or Archons. Or the robo that we're panic making at the 9.5 minute mark here. Siege tanks take out another DT. Nobody move a muscle. Oh, you moved a muscle. What the hell? Shouldn't have moved. I told him not to move. The DTs will be found, will be spotted, will be destroyed. A Marine drop in the main base takes out 2 more probes. A Stalker. 2 Stalkers. 3 probes. Oh, they get 3 probes. Very well. Cure said, well, that went pretty well. I think I want to do that again. Sending out the medevac immediately after the first one dies. I love that. I love that timing. Just like, oh, that felt pretty good. I think I want to do that a little bit more. Cure, I think at this point you could just get everything together and kind of walk across the map. Classic has been, it's been a bit of a rough ride. Okay, Storm is just now completing though, so it's not without hope. It's not like this is the end of all things for Protoss. Amon made that very clear. But it's certainly not looking ideal. Oh god, no, Classic, no. You are not in a position to be moving out here. No, you have 16 Zealots, 2 Templar here, and a bunch of harsh words to throw at the Terran. I don't think this is going to go very well. Also, there's 1 Marine in the natural and greater than 1 in the main base, which is going to cause all sorts of complications. The pylons picked off as well, denying the warp and contingent of Zealots. Did we clean this one up? Oh god, he did. He got cleaned up. DTs should deflect the ones in the main base, keep them pretty well set. The army, go home. Go home. We found other Templar, at least. That's helpful. Cure deciding to not press the engagement, not wanting to press the advantage, I suppose. Cure, I think Cure's suffering a little bit from the I'm not quite confident at how ahead I am right now. The workers, they're relatively even. The bases, Cure's got the 4th on the way. We'll be able to float it out. Cure is just trying to round out the tech, I think, to deal with some of the things that Classic has made, like Ghosts for Storms, for example. Yeah. I mean, the bulk of the army, it's really zealots and storms. That's it. You just have to not lose the bio to a bunch of storms. You can, of course, ghost, EMP, try to nullify the storms before they go out, or have some god mode splits and bring an umbrella. Hope for the best. Split, umbrella, and pray, I suppose we could call it. Sending some marauders out, clearing the stasis ward. Secondary, going to be made over on the left side here. Classic. Goes for a little bit of an engagement. One Templar's going to be hit with an EMP. I love the siege tanks being here too. I don't normally get to see a lot of siege tanks involved in this type of attack. Usually we get this late in the game. The siege tanks have died. They're just going for things like ghosts and widow mines. But I love it just from an anchor perspective. Getting to really nail down this spot so that it's a lot more difficult for Classic to move in. The recall. Look over there. Terrans. Yes. Cure starting to move forward. Inch. The Colossi kind of at the front line here. This is not... They just get deleted. They're gone. The storms start to roll out. They're pretty decent, I will say. The siege tanks, not even, I think, going to be cleared. The buy, there's just way too much. Cure has been building up, readying this attack for far too long now. The siege tanks aren't even picked off. The bio's still here. The Terran army will prevail, which is going to tie this up 1-1. That means we are moving on to a grand finale. The grand finale will be played on the map of Ley Lines here. The upper right corner shall belong to the blue Protoss probes of Classic. And the red Terran opponent fighting back, pushing hard through map number 2, getting a win on the board. It is Cure. And a silence falls over the battleground. It ends here, one way or the other. This best of 3 will come to a close. Cure deciding things went pretty well through map number 2, I think. I think I'll build my barracks in my own base once again. The rest of us cry out, really? Wow. Cure. Such remarkable decision making. Classic, on the other side, deciding not to go for the employee entrance kind of wall-off, instead going for wrapping around the back of the mineral line. Personally, I like this one more. Personally speaking, I don't like to wall off this part because I'm terrified of siege tanks. The Terrans, they set up shop like here, they shell all the buildings, get them destroyed. No, make something in back here, and then the Reaper can't go all the way over here around. He has to cut through your mineral line so that then you can get him. They both work, I'd say, relatively well enough, though, to each their own, truth be told. There's plenty of games where either option is fine, and plenty of games where either option is awful, and you lose the game no matter what. So, really, at the end of the day, as long as you put your buildings somewhere, they don't get destroyed, and they're on a pylon, I suppose, you're fine at the end of it all. The Reaper heads into the natural once again, decides that's all that the Reaper really wants to see, starts to pick on the pylon there. The Adept trying to hold the high ground as best they can. I wonder if Cure is getting a little meta gamed here, just from the perspective of thinking that there's a Reaper wall off at that entrance. I wonder if Cure's gonna try it at all. It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like Cure is really itching to try the employee entrance to get in there. There is an Adept, of course, already watching it. Oh, Cure's gonna go for it. And decides the Adept is too scary. I agree with the choice, not wanting to lose the Reaper. Not gonna see a whole lot though. The vision range there, this is the advantage to building everything in the back, really. The Robo is gonna be the choice. And Cure decided to expand on the high ground here. And is going for, a little bit of a Hellion Marine combo. So changing things up slightly. Of course, a lot of the Terran openers, they all still kind of start the same way. So you get to get a 1-1-1, really. It's the most variable opener. Not variable, I guess versatile. Versatile's the word I'm looking for there. It's the most versatile opener. So that you can kind of launch into whatever you want. Do you want a mine drop? Do you want to just add on more barracks, get your upgrades rolling, triple threat style? Or do you want to somehow only make one Hellion and try a Widow Mine Marine Hellion wombo combo, I suppose? The mine will be dropped. The Marines... Oh my god, the mine. The mine hurts the Marines more. Reaper jumps up into the main base and leaves the main base really just as quickly as he got in there. The Hellion, proving to be the most decorative choice of all, decides to not commit to any semblance of help or support. So I think, yeah, that's about that. The Widow Mine did survive, as did the Marines that the Widow Mine so bravely tried to shoot with its own splash damage. Observer's going to spot the medevac, which will, I think, keep Classic on alert for a little bit here. Classic did open up Robo, which we saw earlier. Immortal is the choice, though. My curiosity is going to be, when is Classic going to add on the Robo Bay? Because you need the Robo Bay, really, to do a lot. I mean, Colossi, Disruptors, Observer Speed for you wonderful viewers, yes. The Prism sent out with an Immortal in it. I'm pretty sure the Hellion did spot this. A Viking is on the way for Cure, who's, I think, probably just going to try to keep the Prism away, and not really wanting to commit to Vikings without seeing Colossi, I would wager. Because Vikings, they don't really deal with a whole lot else from the Robo very well. Putting landed Vikings up against Immortals and Disruptors, I think, isn't too great of a decision. Classic's going to pick off a couple of SCVs here. Raven, here to help out. Also, Wild Raven is spotted. No interference matrix, though, not yet researched, and I don't think he's really going to be researching it, so I guess this one's more just maybe for auto turrets. Just to help out, give a little oomph to the engagement once these two decide to actually commit and clash a bit. Now, Classic is showing the splash damage choices. We are seeing Colossi come up. I would say it's been working pretty well. The issue with map number 2's Colossi really was the placement, the location. They did the recall, you remember. They recalled to the Nexus, and the Colossi were here, and everything else was back here. It's like, God, come on. That's not how this is supposed to work. So, the Colossi just excited. It was a laser giraffe convention, and they wanted to be first in line, because they're like, we are the laser giraffes, and it's fine. We're okay with that, so... Raven proving to be helpful, just with passive detection, going to pick off an observer. That's always nice. Always a nice feeling to snipe an observer. It sets the Protoss on edge, denies them a little bit of vision, most importantly gives the Terran a bit of confidence. Yeah, got him. Able to head out onto the map now. The decorative Hellion makes a triumphant return, killing off one probe. It's not going to get any more because of the battery. The Colossi pops out. You call that a flame cannon? Colossi whips out its 2 laser beams. Okay, auto turrets decide to focus down the cannon. Getting all 3, get 3 probes in total, and the cannon. Prism dropped in the main base here. Viking desperately trying to hunt it down. Prism cannot deploy. Will be lost, so it's really just going to be the Adepts. Which it feels like Classic didn't really want these units, just kind of wanted to get rid of them. And I guess that was a way of getting rid of them without, you know, just killing them off yourself. So now Big group of zealots here. Is this mostly zealot? Good grief, it is mostly zealots. We got 3 colossi at home. If the zealots can remain relatively undetected, uncontested, then this presents a really good opportunity for Classic. Cure's army's moving out. A severe lack of observers is going to make it a little difficult for Classic to see this coming, though. And I think this Nexus is about to get torched. Yeah, not cancelled, okay. The timing on that. Cure actually nailing the timing so that Classic couldn't cancel it. Classic sends the zealots into the bases. Here we go. Go time trigger being pulled. SCVs trying to desperately to... Oh, they're helping out now. Battle blades. Okay. Going after some of the zealots. The army's clashing over here. Force fields set up really nicely. I will say anti-armor missile was the choice from the Raven, it would seem. Most of the Terran army is dealt with, but one of the Colossi did fall. The Vikings, still alive, able to help out. I don't think there's blink. No, there's no blink for the Stalkers, so they're going to be quite susceptible. Siege tank takes the brunt of the disruptor hit. Gonna need one more to actually clear it out. Looks like Cure's going to let him. Cure's going to give it to him. Give him the ground back, picking up groups in the medevacs, deciding to go for the main base here. Could shut down the robo production. Picking off the battery first and foremost. The Colossi walk up the cliffs to get here. A little bit of a risky move, but I think it's going to pay off. They get here a little bit quicker, able to pick things off, help out with the defense. Landed Viking. Do it. Turn around. Oh my god, turn around. That's one happy zealot, I suppose. Okay then. Command center was lifted. Zealots unfit to actually climb on top of each other to hit the flying command center. Cure. Alright, Cure. I think it might be time to go home now. This isn't going to go well. There's too much. Okay. We're sending out more drops. I don't like this. I don't like sending out all of these drops. Cure is... This feels like Cure is a little desperate to try to get some damage done, and I don't think it's going to pay off because you're just going to wind up bleeding off some of these units. Oh god, don't lose the medevac too. Instead of trying to get all of the pieces together, get all of the army set up. SCVs still being picked off. These zealots make their return. They will be angry. They will be dealt with, but they get a little bit done. Reinforcements for Cure. We'll see to that. Scouting Marine scouts the wrong end of the Colossi laser. Finds out what that feels like, which doesn't seem like a really good feeling, I will say. We have a Void Ray. I guess the Void Ray is just to deal with the medevacs that were over here. The Cure's pulling them back, though, not really wanting to commit, I think, to too much more as far as drops go. Prism enters the main base uncontested. Prism's speed is done too. That gravitic warp drive, that Prism is zooming. Okay. He could even set it up. Could actually commit. The Vikings here. I think the Prism can actually outrun them now, though. Which is a really nice benefit. Really big help. Army moving out to the middle of the map here. Colossi count once again at 3. Disruptors at 3. It would be the magic number if we all know that more Colossi is better, so let's go up to 4, I suppose. It's like moving everything around, and it's like, nah, I don't think I really want to commit. It's fine. A double robo, or double the Colossi, yeah, let's go up to 5. Ooh, will we get even more? Can we get 7? 9? What's the most Colossi we've seen? In one of these like realistic pro game settings, I think usually the cutoff's around 6. I don't think I usually see more than 6. That starts to feel like a bit overkill. They start tripping over each other. But I still hold out hope. We hit 5. Just queue up 2 more. Give me 2 more. Let's get 7. No? Fine. The tech choice will be Dark Templar observers being sent out. Trying to keep an eye on the army movements. We're in the posturing stage now. Well, goodbye, observer. did its job though, scouted the Terran army moving out. Great force fields cutting the Terran army off a bit there. If some will be picked up, you're able to get some of them out, but I don't think nearly enough. Ugh. Widowmine connects with those zealots. A cyclone, stray from the wild, enters the base. They're disruptors. Classic decides to just go for the natural base, says, I think this is my base now, sends out a deterring disruptor shot. I'm not even sure Cure can commit. Cure's not even sure that Cure can commit to this attack. There's just no way. No cleaning it up. The army too large. The Colossi too colossal. Classic is going to take the map, and with it, the series. A well-earned victory, but well played to both of them, of course. Enjoyed for sure. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.